Greetings, DVP here, and not a boss guide, but this Phenomenon Intel 3 investigating these ruins. So this is a mini game, and I just thought I'll do this guide just to kind of keep it really simple, because not everybody enjoys these. So it's kind of nice that you can follow pretty much an identical routine and then beat it every time. So I'll show you my setup, and then if you just kind of copy it pace by pace, then you'll be able to take it on without too much of an issue. So one thing that's a bit unfortunate is you can't actually exit once you're in without closing the entire game down with an Alt F4, which is not great. So it just means that for recording this, I have to completely set everything up again from scratch. But then you can see exactly what I'm doing. So you need to sort of create these gambits for your different little robots. And I'll just show you exactly what I'm doing. So to start with, targeting the south. We're just going to, well, on this one, in fact, we'll do, if you're less than 50%, do a cure. And then this is the part that can be a little bit tricky, is you're going to prioritize if they're weak to a certain element, casting that element against them. So your top one to be Blizzard. Then if they are airborne, which this is the bit that I think, well, it caught me out, probably catches others as well. But then you need to do gravity if they are airborne. So you see that little symbol with the wing there. Any of them that have that wing on them, you need to use gravity on them to bring them down to the ground, or missile, which will just hurt them while they're in the air. So the next is a modification. So with this particular one, we'll just give them a nice bit of health. And then the last one, just if worst comes to worst, then Lariat, that is just their physical attack. So these are the gambits for the first one, making them not too expensive, but moderately so. Now this is your big hitter, because for a long phase of the fight, your enemy is going to be weak against fire. So we're going to make this guy as strong as we can by giving him regen. And then when you combine that with a modification where you add a lot of HP, it just makes the regen really effective. And this is the one you're going to want to be doing the most damage. So good to have that. And then same sort of principle again, prioritize elemental weakness. And in this case, it's fire. And then again, if they are airborne, you want to make sure that you bring them down to the ground. And then just same as usual, once you've used all your attacks, just do normal physical attacks. So you get the idea now. So this one, this one's just our kind of very cheap guy that we can use if we need to in a pinch. Very cheap, and it works very well. So again, prioritizing elemental weakness, thunder, and then if they are airborne, this one will use a missile. And with bravery, that works quite nicely. It does a lot of damage. So they have not a lot of health, but they're cheap, and they do quite a bit of damage as well, which is good. Okay, and then modification to themselves is -20. This is what actually makes them cheap. And then finally, just the same as with the others, Lariat. Okay, and then for the portal skills, basically with this setup, you'll beat him without needing any portal skills. But I've got the offensive loadout, Air Auger and Comet. So with that, we are ready to commence. And you basically just want to respond to whatever he does with the counter. Very simple. So starting off, throwing out a lightning robot. And you can see that little symbol showing that the enemy there is flying. So this lightning robot is going to use missiles to take him out, and you can see bravery adds a nice bit of damage, which is nice, and then he's going to damage the big boss as well. So this always happens in the same order. So now this is our big HP guy, the fire robot, and he's going to use gravity on this guy to bring him down to earth. There, you can see that happened over there. Now with this enemy, if you use G, it will tell you some secrets about them. So he'll use barrier on himself, but if he's targeted by 2 foes, then he'll deprotect himself. So that's quite handy. So obviously then, let's just chuck 2 of our cheapest against him. He doesn't seem to have an elemental affinity, which is absolutely fine. Now for this one, he has got an elemental affinity. You only need to throw one at him. If he's got an elemental affinity, then we know that we're going to beat him. Okay, and you've got the idea by now, probably. So you're just going to counter whatever he throws at you. Now you can see under his health bar, the enemy's health bar, there are two little blips. Once he goes past the first blip, then he's going to become vulnerable to fire. And then he uses regen on himself, but that doesn't bother us at all, because we'll be using our strong fire bots against him. Again, anytime he throws out a new dude to attack us, we just counter with whatever his weakness is. So there we go, he just chucked another ice one at us, or at least another lightning one. So lightning is countered by ice in this minigame. Bit confusing. So at this stage, now that he's vulnerable to fire, once you've got enough ATB for 2 robots, throw out a fire one. You always want to have ATB spare to counter anything new that he throws out, but you're throwing out fire because right now he's vulnerable to fire. You can see he's doing blizzard. Now we got our guy doing a fire shot, which will do a nice bit of damage. Then again, this dude that he just threw out there is vulnerable to fire, so that's very good. We'll counter with fire. And we can probably now throw out another fire bot. And here that one there is not vulnerable to any element, so may as well just throw out yet another fire bot. Now when he goes past the second blip there, which he's about to, then he's going to shift into his lightning mode, which means that you're wanting to throw ice at him. There you go. So he is now in that zone. So we'll start throwing ice at him. But also it's probably about time to start using our portal attacks. This is going to hit all of the enemies on the field. Air Rorga, a very nice one to use. And then let's just use Comet straight away. And yeah, this really should be the end of him. Just kind of chuck everything at him now. So there you go. I mean, usually it actually, this is quite slow. I think because I'm commentating. Finish that off a bit slower. But there you go. You can kind of really beat for beat just copy what I did, and you'll get that victory, and I'm sure you can do it even quicker than that. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching.